With me now are two very, very special people that we've come to know over, I think, about 18 months now, I think. Yeah, about 18 months. This is a fantastic story, and I'd like to share it with you now. But Jeremy, I wonder if you could start this off. Can you tell us just how this whole story of you coming to Hal Avington with George, and of course with your wife Sarah, how this all came about in the first place?
Yeah, it all started when George had a small bike, about a 12-inch one, and he wanted to donate it to Africa when he traded up to his next size one. And we looked around a bit, couldn't really find anyone. And then on the internet I came across Jolly Rider. So me and David had some emails between us about what we could do. And because his bike was too small to go to Africa, David had an idea of we could bring it up, you'd sell it on, and we'd use the money from that to send other bikes out.
And that's exactly what happened, isn't it, George? You brought your bike up, and we had it on display here for a while, didn't we? And you helped us load the container. What did you think of that?
Is it good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
George, you know, George has had special dispensation to come and join us here today. This is Wednesday, and normally, George, you would be at school, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the truth is that George is such an ambassador for Jolly Rider, talking about what we do, and particularly what happens in schools in Africa, that you get to talk to the whole school in assembly, telling them telling the children there what it's like for life in Africa, don't you?
Yeah.
And what is life like in Africa?
Very hard.
It's very hard, that's right. But such is the impact that George has on the school that George gets special dispensation to have a day off with Mum and Dad here. And I think, let me think now, this is probably about the 6th time or the 7th time that you've been here to help load, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're absolutely delighted to have Jeremy here and Sarah. Sarah's George's mum, and particularly George as well. Here now we have Nick Howe, that we've come to know over several months as a supporter of Jolly Rider, and Nick's got a really interesting story to share with us about how he came connected with Jolly Rider. Nick?
Well, it's slightly obscure, really. So I was with some colleagues in Harpenden, and I went going out for Sunday lunch, actually, and the lady I was going with was going out of the door with 2 bikes, taking them down to the train station. And I asked what she was doing, and she got out a little cutting out of the paper, which she showed me, and she was taking it down to distribute the bikes for a collection, I guess to be brought to your warehouse over here at Hal Avington. Hal Avington, rather. And so it just intrigued me, really, and for some time now I've been interested in getting back involved with something to do with Gambia in particular. The reason behind that is I was a Brikama boy. I was born in Brikama, West Africa, and my parents were both working out there at the time, and they were there for about 11 or 12 years, and I spent the first 5 years of my life there. So in my mind for many years now, when I've got to sort of 50, I thought, well, it's time to get involved and do something a little bit private and personal that would give something back to Gambia. And so I picked up the phone, and I think I phoned you, David. Instead of calling you David, I think I called you Johnny Rider. So that shows how much I knew about it at the time. But and we've got to know each other over the last few months, and it's been fascinating, really, to see what you've achieved here. It's just a phenomenal, growing, exciting programme, really, that is really making a difference to the kids and lives in Gambia. And as you know, as the first European twins to be born and survive out there, you know, you see all these little kids coming into the world, and you really want them to have an opportunity and have something to look forward to, and being able to be educated and go to school and have books to read in the classroom is imperative. And with my business that I'm involved with, which is feeding children at school, luckily in private schools over this country, where the children are so fortunate, it's absolutely right that we can try to get a link, and I'm hoping to be able to develop this with you over the coming months and years, David, that our schools can bring some involvement to the schools out in Gambia, and I think it'll be so valuable for the pupils as they become educated.
Absolutely. Nick, we're so pleased to have your involvement and your interest, and excitement, if can I say, in this particular project. Nick was here earlier when we had a primary school come and attend the loading today, and they were here for 2 hours and had an absolutely superb time understanding and seeing what actually happens, firstly with this program, but the effect of this program as it unveils in the Gambia. We're also looking forward, of course, to not only working with Nick, but also going down to the Gambia, back home for you, to see the operation at the other end and to see the impact that this whole program, bikes, books and other things that we're doing is having down there. And we look forward to that greatly.
Well, it'll be fantastic. One day that'll be a really exciting thing to look forward to.
Super. Nick,
Super.
thanks very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.